As the final buzzer sounded on the Pistons' 2023 season, two die-hard fans, Mickey and Harry, each passed out and witnessed a vision. They were visited by Detroit's very own mascot, Hooper, the stallion ablaze, who told them the only way the Pistons would ever win a championship again was if these two men started a podcast. To be clear, they said, do we really have to do this? I mean, aren't there enough Pistons podcasts already? It seems like this might be overkill. But Hooper dunked on them, right in their face, and said, your team needs you. He presented them with a prophecy. Now it is their duty to help Detroit rise again and become champions. The Order of the Blazing Horse. What up, doe? And welcome back to another episode of The Order of the Blazing Horse, the only Detroit Pistons podcast based on a mystical prophecy. I am one of those prophets, man touched by a horse, not in an inappropriate way, not in a creepy way, Harry Moros, here in Michigan, just outside the 313, joined as always by my co-host, my co-prof on the West Coast with the most,
Mickey Jacobs. What's going on, Harry?
Oh, you know, chilling, killing, sitting on about a 6 seed out here.
There we
really
go.
Enjoying life, feeling good and feeling great. How are you? To our very special guest, you might have seen him on Instagram or X or any of the social media where he's blown up with his incredible TikTok. Yes, maybe the biggest one. Who knows? Always got to shout out TikTok. Don't tell the government TikTok. But huge at Doug Lust. You might have followed him. All the game recaps with the 6-song mashups. Maybe you know his band. Is it MFA? Is that how you pronounce it?
That's right. That's
MFA.
Exactly right.
Killer.
Big Woozy?
Big Woozy.
That's another one that's also pronounced correctly.
Hey, man.
Right.
When you follow the NBA, you got to get the pronunciation right.
That's right.
Well, we know how to say Mamu Kelashvili. We can handle this. As does he, if you listen to the San Antonio Spurs track, which I gotta say was fucking sick. Welcome to the show, Doug Berns, Doug Lust on all the socials. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to get into it with some Pistons fans.
What up? Yes, it's where we're at. Yeah. It's fun to be here. I mean, we booked you before we knew that you were the matchup that we were going to be having here, going in the playoffs, 3 seed versus 6 seed. But Doug, tell us a little bit about how let's start with how your fandom started and then how it became this, because it looked like, from what I saw, it started out like you were doing so you start out by doing metal music moments for the Knicks, and then that blew up to more metal to jazz to all that jazz, I should say.
Well, basically, I've been a Knicks fan since I was 5. My earliest memories are the 94 finals run. And I think that just growing up with Patrick Ewing as the Titan of the city, you fall in love immediately. That group was, I hate to admit it, tough and hard-nosed like a certain current NBA team. But that's the brand we grew up with, was guys who won games 84-80 and took it to you and left the opponent bleeding and wanting to get the hell out of New York City. That's what my earliest memories of the New York Knicks are. And then, you know, I grew older, I got into music, and I got cut from my basketball team in high school. So I said, you know what, maybe I'm not a player. Maybe I'm more of a bard. Maybe I can kind of gear myself towards writing music about this whole thing. So I got really into music. I took the bass very seriously, and that's what I do for a living is I play bass, and I make audio, write, compose, etc. I have several bands, as you guys have mentioned. I've been doing this for a long time. But so the Knicks really sucked around 2006 to 2010. They were really awful. Even more, 2004 to 2010, they were really bad. But in 2004 to 2006, I practiced and I didn't watch the Knicks. Then when I got back into college, I got back into the team, started watching every game again. And as my chops grew, creating, composing, every now and then over the years, I would drop a little Knicks funny song, NBA funny song. But this season, I was very excited. I didn't have title aspirations for this team. I just said we have a nice basketball product to enjoy. This is interesting. What kind of content can I create to engage with all the Knicks fans that I engage with all the time, just talking about the team? I feel like I could come up with some concept. And then I had this idea of the metal recaps. Metal's like my home base of composing. It's the style I grew up studying the most and emulating the most, but I love all kinds of music. So I started just with that. And then for whatever reason, I had the idea to do parodies. And that's when I started doing parodies with game recaps of songs that you might love and you might have heard and might mean something to you in a different part of your life. Then people started really connecting with what I was doing. And I haven't missed a game since November the 11th. So that's pretty good. That's when I started it. And, you know, my idea is to go all the way through the playoffs, however far we get.
I love it. I think it's great too, because you're a family man, to have a family and also to have an excuse to be able to watch all these games and to make some
It's a non-negotiable part of my marriage when I met my wife. It's just part of being with me as I watch every game. It just is what it is. You know, we have to make it work.
I think I saw that tidbit about you in the James L. Edwards article on The Athletic, which is so funny. My non-negotiables when I met her, I told her like 3 bad things about me when we first started dating. I was like, just so you know, in the first date, I was like, just so you know, I do drugs. Don't do drugs so much anymore, but I did them all back in the day. I do stand-up comedy, so I'm like never going to be around at night, and also I'm going to be insufferable. And the third, I don't really want to say on air, but we'll leave it at that. It wasn't bad enough for her to leave me, but it was it was also at a time when I was at my best physical attraction, so it was easy enough to get away from that whole thing on that end.
Now I'm curious, but
I'll tell you off air.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's not horrendous.
Shall we dive into the latest Pistons Knicks recap?
Yeah, let's show this video. I think I have the audio for everyone here and for you guys as well. This is great. In fact, I love it. Is the best way to put it for this track. So please enjoy from Doug Berns, Doug Lust, the Hero Dance Knicks game recap from a couple nights ago.
Knicks rested Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and Anunoby. You could argue it'd be better dropping to the 4 seed. It was sick when Precious posterized Isaiah Stewart. Cat couldn't hold on to the ball. Should we lose on purpose? Play the Bucks on purpose, on purpose. Brunson got called for blocking every time that kid would push off. And PJ Tucker almost sped up after shoving shoulder. Timmy and Harris combined 27, pissed me off. And Jalen Duren didn't miss. Detroit is so gassed up, they all like starting shit. I knew the game was cooked after we benched Shamet. So many turnovers, so many front rim bricks. I know it's nights like this, we miss the 90s Knicks. On purpose, should we lose? On purpose, play the Bucks. On purpose, let's go Knicks.
Banger.
It's so good.
I made myself laugh with that one. I really did.
I do want to know, like, eventually we'll get into it. Do you guys want to talk about the game from this game first, just because we had like some of the recap, and then we'll get more into the music?
Sure.
So this is the 4th game between the Knicks, between the Pistons. The matchup has favored the Pistons this year, but all the games have been great. And one thing I like about these two teams is the Knicks over the last couple of years are essentially they were like the NBA darlings last year. It's like, oh my God, they're so exciting. Look at how Brunson's exploded. Look how well this team loves each other. You guys had the Nova
boys.
Right. You still have this whole connection. That's exactly where Detroit is this year. And I know you said like the hard-nosed things, but I feel that way about the Knicks as well. So these two teams are on the up and up. They're historically great basketball franchises, especially from the 90s, from where we grew in to love the team. And they are 2 major cities in America on top of it, which is fucking cool. And I'm happy that they get to meet in the playoffs. In this game and in the 3 previous, it's been a lot of Cade Cunningham explosion. So, Doug, what is your perspective of Cade Cunningham?
Well, I think this is the year that he should run away with most improved player. I also think that he is so unstoppable in the mid-range scoring. If he's able to work himself into the paint, you're screwed. And I think the Knicks have a big problem coming up because you guys have managed to get the switch so that he can go against Brunson. And that's just light work, unfortunately, for Cade. Unfortunately for me, it's light work for Cade to just rise up right over Brunson. And I think that's what's really taken him forward this year, is his ability to score multiple levels so consistently. And I will say this about Cade: he's made me a lot of money, because every time, every night, I look at the Cade over. That's one of the things I'm always looking at points wise. I think he's a phenomenal tone setter for that team. I think that Brunson has a different ability to score and create baskets for himself, and to get himself to the free throw line. That I think that's maybe where he has an advantage over Cade. But it's just extraordinary, the improvement from this kid. He was a blue chipper, but now this is the moment where you see the return on the investment. And it, for a franchise like the Pistons, that's all it really takes to tip the scale of, we are now playing for real. We're not playing for draft position. We're playing for real. So I commend the Pistons franchise for the way they've built around him. And there were moments, Tim Hardaway Jr. was one of those signings that I'm like, all right, cool. You guys really did something there. And now it turns out he's a phenomenal fit for this squad. Like, they needed the right peppering of veterans to mix in with Cade and mix in with all the young talent. Thompson, what a hit for you guys in terms of two-way versatility. So if I were in your position, I would be excited. And the difference between where the Knicks were a couple of years ago and where the Pistons are is there's a lot of homegrown work,
right,
for the Pistons, which is something that the Knicks, it feels like Brunson's homegrown because of all his nepotistic connections and all the different things that brought him here on a great deal. And he's been phenomenal. And he's just such a representative player for the team. Like, he's a player that I'm sure you guys feel the same way about Cade. So, I think we have this guy that we brought in that feels like that same core piece that Cade must feel like for you. But having drafted Cade, it must feel a little different. Like, you're seeing your guy, flourish on a bigger stage. It's cool.
Nick, you're muted right now, just as a heads up. Just real, you're still. I'll talk through it. One thing, it's funny that you talk about like the homegrown versus like the brought in talent. This Piston team, like, people keep comparing it to like the Bad Boys, and they also compare it to like the Going to Work Pistons, which is probably more what you and I are familiar with as far as Pistons history goes. And that team was a collection of guys they brought in through free agency and through trade, and it still feels good. And to me, either way, it feels good. It's like, these are guys, we're behind them. This is our team. Mickey, how are you doing?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. I'll switch it over to you. But I still feel like, even though the way of acquiring these players is different, the feeling of getting behind these players is very similar.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too. A lot of teams have star players, but not a lot of teams have star players that are also the leader of the team. And I think Brunson is absolutely that guy, in the same way that Cade is for this team. And it's cool. I feel like it's a different vibe. It's not just leading by example. You see him like in the timeouts, you see them coming off the court, like they're involved
on and off the court.
100%. So it's going to be on a collision course with the Pistons. The skill profile is different. What really gives this Pistons team the edge is the toughness, the physicality. And what I noticed in that game is just how much they dictate the terms of physicality to a game towards the officials. They push. They see how much they can get away with. And you know what? The Knicks' problem defensively this entire year has been them not being able to do that. Them not being able to get physical, commit a hard foul deliberately at the right time, as opposed to getting caught flat-footed and then you're hand checking, you're not playing defense with your feet, and then you're getting tic-tac fouls. Karl-Anthony Towns 3-4 fouls early in games. This has been an issue for the guys. So I think that's where you have an edge on us. I think we have the edge in terms of Brunson will unlock a killer instinct that you haven't seen since his return from injury. There hasn't been that motivation. There hasn't been that situation for him to really find that clutch mode that he can find. So that's where we have something that, might be hard for you guys to beat. We also have, I think, the talent of Cat offensively, stretching the floor, getting out in space and facing up against somebody like Stewart. That could get Stewart in early foul trouble. That could get Dern in early foul trouble. So if the Knicks are smart and stick to their principles and stick to their experience, I like our chances against the Pistons. But it's not a matchup that I'm like, a few days ago I said, okay, we're talking 5 games here. Forget these guys. And then it was a reality check this game.
The Pistons are like kind of a real deal team that I think a lot of people, because they were so bad last year, it's taken them a lot of time to like figure it out. But if you look at like their rating since 2025, it's like top 10 easy, maybe top 5 in some categories. And they just play with this pace. And like you said, the physicality that a lot of other teams don't. JB Bickerstaff in a conference the other day said that this team doesn't play basketball like anybody else does. That's not, they don't win games by shooting the 3 or by going shot for shot. They win basketball by playing tough defense, by going transition, by playing hard. When it comes to the playing hard, and this is like a national conversation, the Pistons have a reputation as being a dirty team or a shit starting team. And I know in some of your lyrics you brought up that they're not afraid of stirring the pot a little bit, mixing it all up. What, from the games that you watch, do you feel like the Pistons are like instigating, dirty, shitty players in that way? And that, if you feel that way, that's totally cool. I'm just curious from
we can take it
an insider perspective.
I wouldn't say they're dirty. I think dirty is strong for what they are, and it's not the way they play. Bam Adebayo is a dirty player to me. I don't think there are guys on there. Here's the difference, right? I say that about Adebayo because he kind of plays it off like he made a basketball play when he does something that hurts somebody. Mm-hmm. The Pistons at least are upfront about trying to hurt people, and I have to respect that. So I don't think it's dirty necessarily. They'll take the flagrant 2 if they commit the flagrant 2. I'm looking at Isaiah Stewart almost exclusively when I say this stuff. But what was really funny in that game was also, how did you get Dennis Schroeder? Was he a buyout candidate?
We got him in a trade because I think in the Jimmy Butler trade, they were trying to like move assets, and Golden State needed to get rid of him. So we acquired him for a 2nd round pick after acquiring 3. So we essentially got Dennis Schroeder and 2 2nd round picks for nothing.
That's one of those moves where you're just like, that's an ace move for your front office. Because again, you have the young players. That's not what you need. You don't need to you're not taking a swing on some 19-year-old kid's upside when you're making trades. You're shoring stuff up. So if a veteran like Schroeder is out there, he comes in, and I didn't realize the culture fit of Dennis Schroeder until I watched that next game, because he's like Stewart's little sidekick. Right. he does like the side fights with smaller players, and Stewart squares up against the bigs. So it's like you have a point of attack, shit stirrer and a paint shit stirrer, and I think that's really funny.
Also, we got Ron Holland, man. We got the young
Ron Holland is also, but I don't know. I want to test you guys. I don't want to believe. I don't think it should get into a team's head to the point where they lose because of it. And that's what really pissed me off about that game. I was like, that's why you're going to lose. It's not because you're going to miss shots or you're just going to let them out physical you, so you start making mistakes and you beat yourself from the pressure of them just being in your face. I don't think a good basketball team should respond to physicality with a loss.
Yeah, it seems like specifically with Cat in the 4th quarter, Isaiah Stewart really got into his head, because Jalen Dern was having a fine game and he didn't play until the last minute of the 4th quarter. And when you watch it back, you're like, why? And then Cat had 4 turnovers in the 4th, and he just looked a little flustered. And I mean, we pined for Cat, I believe, in the offseason. Mm-hmm. We thought he would have been a great fit to have a stretch 5. He's an incredible player. I think the acquisition was great. I think the Knicks are loaded with talent. Like it's an incredible team. So the matchup will be fun. But like you said, if they can't handle physicality, that could be something to focus on if you're Detroit. And I think, like you said, if you're the Knicks, you might have hinted at this earlier, it might be a good plan to try to get some of the Pistons into some foul trouble, both with the bigs and with Cade on top of it. And it kind of looked like in the last game, the Knicks were trying to do that a little bit. It didn't go in their favor because Brunson didn't get the foul calls, like you
Neither
said.
did Cat, as usual.
Yeah, it's we know a little something about not getting foul calls out in Detroit. Too. I think it's like a regular fan base sort of thing.
Yeah, we all feel that way. But
Right?
we all watch our players make their exact favorite moves every night and then get smashed. And then you see it enough, you'll feel like you never get the calls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking of your lyrics, the Cade push-offs, we were shocked, because they usually call those every single time. And I was like, wow, are we gearing up for playoff ball? Is that flying now? Because that didn't used to fly.
Brunson flew, but everybody else.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be a foul fest between those two. It really is. It really is. But here's what I can't. I understand referees. Oh, you're making me relive this. I understand referees deciding that a space clearing forearm, that's a judgment call if that's an offensive foul or not. And it's a judgment call to see if the defensive player, in many cases Brunson, receives that as an offensive foul or is exaggerating the contact. Referee decides that it's contact exaggeration by Brunson. God bless. There's nothing I can say. But why is it a blocking foul on Brunson? That's where I'm like, what are you talking about? He's standing there playing defense and he takes a forearm to the chest and he committed the foul just because he fell backwards. I'm sorry to rant about to take your show over with an official's rant, but
you're fine, man.
But that's the thing about Cade is the little ways he.
I think we lost here for a second.
Did we lose you? There we go. Oh.
A little lost. I mean, he's not long. If you watch the game, still missing you here for a sec.
Maybe pop out and pop back in.
Yeah, let's give that a shot. I mean, my internet's doing okay. Welcome back.
Hey, fella.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, sorry
good.
about it.
No, I think it might have been on my end because like everybody kicked out a little bit. So you don't need to apologize, but I appreciate it.
Hear you fine.
So you heard me. I think I may have landed my plane about how Cade Cunningham is good at creating space and not getting called for it. But something to watch for.
He's a big boy. It happens a lot. He does get into foul trouble. A fair share. And
he did in this game too.
He did
in this game too.
I think
they can take advantage of it.
It's happened against the Knicks, and he's been able to pull it out. I was gonna say too. I think things are gonna be a little different with Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, and OG. I think the Pistons get their shots blocked a fair amount. I think taking a little pressure off Cat, having just like a 7-foot rim running, just full defensive guy is going to really open things up for them. I'm a little nervous about it if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely another area. If we can really exploit Mitchell Robinson at his best and really get him on the floor in those key moments, he started yesterday against Cleveland and Cat rested. And he looked great in the first half. And I think he just still isn't fully in the condition that he wants to be in. So towards the stretch, down the stretch of that game, he was kind of getting out rebounded by Mobley and Allen. It's tough with Mitch when he's at his full strength. He's pretty unstoppable. You can't really score on him. So it's a matter of making sure he's in a good place conditioning wise. And yeah, I think you're right. I think that's one area where we could take advantage of his experience and his ability to get boards and his ability to crash the glass and his ability to protect the rim, especially take some pressure off Cat, as you said, and to not have OG defending the wings in that game was also a difficult situation because then you have Precious Achiuwa, who is not the best decision maker. So, Precious's impact can be athletically running the floor. He can defend smaller players pretty well, but he's been getting the ball a lot, and it's not resulted in a lot of quality offense. Let's put it that way. So getting OG back, he's been having a renaissance of late. His last couple of games, he struggled, but before then, the 6-ish weeks leading up to that, especially when Brunson was injured, OG had the offense going too, in addition to the defense. So if we can continue to elevate OG as an important part of this offense, that portends super well for us. And Bridges also, he's been up and down this season, but if he gets going in the mid-range area and he gets some clean looks off, he can get hot pretty quickly. And if we can get you guys to miss and get Josh Hart pushing in transition, finding Mikal, then we can score quickly on you guys and hopefully keep a lead, which is been another struggle of late is maintaining leads for the Knicks. So many elements going into the series.
It's definitely something to watch. And I'm happy you brought up Josh Hart and pace, because I do think pace is going to be a big dictator of how the series goes. Pistons love to play fast. I think they're the second team in fast breaks, and they're top 5 or something team in pace on the year. It's where their bread and butter is. And with Josh Hart, whenever he plays against us, it always seems like he's pushing the pace or he's making a lot of stops and whatnot. It's nice to see X factors like that, even on an opposing team, just be impressed, because dude's not huge and he's still getting mad rebounds. He's still getting mad stops. He's still really attacking the paint. I'm sure people have said it a million times before, but Hart has crazy heart. Like it's a game-changing player to have there. And hopefully seeing the Knicks fully healthy, or like at least rested enough with like a week off essentially before getting into the series, seeing the Pistons fully healthy with Isaiah Stewart taking some time to get better, and with Tobias Harris fully healing up. I can't wait to see these two teams at their best duke it out. Do you have any predictions for the series? Where do you think it's going to end up? How far you think it's going to go? Who you think is going to be the shining star of the series?
So my prediction for this series is that the Knicks will be up 3-1, will lose game 5 in a devastating fashion, probably be up by 7 or 9 with 3 minutes to go, and somehow end up on the wrong side of that game 5, close it out in game 6, on the road, they close it out in game 6. So I think the reason that is because the Pistons are going to get into our heads. The Pistons are going to make big shots. Malik Beasley is a huge problem for us defensively, for our defensive scheme and the way we tend to over-rotate and close out really late on three-point shooters. Cade obviously is going to be a huge, huge problem. So I think the Knicks will be able to out-talent the Pistons and out-experience the Pistons at the end of the day. I think OG Anunoby will shine. I think he will have his moment because he seems very motivated to make an impact and an impression on the league right now, and maybe to the Knicks front office to say, listen, and the Knicks coaching staff to say, listen, I'm a real offensive option for you. Keep giving me the ball. Keep getting me my touches. This is a big moment for him to make a statement that way. I also look for Jalen Brunson to be that dude that he's always been. I think he will find ways to get those buckets that he wasn't getting in that previous game. It's just the playoff bump that he gets is real. He is a clutch player. He should win clutch player of the year, in my opinion. He's nails under pressure. And this is where he makes his legacy, is in playoff games. So I think we take it. I think you guys are good enough to take us to 6. And I think the Knicks have been playing down lately. They've been playing below their level. And I'm optimistic that the playoff pressure cooker will allow them to take it up a notch. At least those players that I mentioned. Cat, I'm concerned about. I'm concerned with the way he was turning the ball over against that defensive pressure. It's because he plays into your hand when he tries to get downhill on Stewart all the time. The real thing that needs to happen if he wants those drives to work is he needs to hit some threes first. Usually you think to yourself, guys drive, and then they see the ball go through, and then they shoot threes. But Cat is such a good shooter that he can set the tone by shooting threes. And then you have to respect him. And then his athleticism can give him advantage. His quickness for his size can give him an advantage. So if he can get that going and approach the game in an intelligent way, perhaps it could be a 5-game series. But if he struggles, like I fear he might, 6 games, all the way Knicks.
I mean, the Pistons have definitely historically struggled against spacing bigs, at least early in the season, and obviously before that. But yeah, no, I'm interested to see. I think you're absolutely right. Like a pick and pop can be absolutely devastating for us. My hope is that Tibbs runs your guys into the ground, and that the fact that Brunson coming off injury means that the chemistry hasn't quite had time to gel. Everyone's a little out of sync. Then they're tired, and we can just take advantage. I'm not exactly sure what our rotation is going to look like, but we're young, we're hungry, we're relatively healthy. Knock on wood, but no, it's going to be a dogfight. I'm so stoked.
What's the latest you hear on Ivy, by the way?
He's been cleared for basketball activity, right? So the question is, in 2 weeks, is he going to play? And my guess, this is all speculation. We're not like on the beat or anything. Is probably not going to play because I mean, even with Asar, it took a while for them after he was cleared for basketball activity to come back and start playing, and then his minutes restriction was wild. And then when you look at how this Pistons team is playing right now, which is like so together, so well, do you want to disrupt that? Maybe. Right. I don't know. And you don't even know how Ivy's going to look when he comes back. If he did come back and he was playing like he played at the first part of the season, that's a whole different story, because the dude was shooting 41% from three, averaging 19 points or something, close to high teens points,
something like that
for the Pistons. Then that changes the rotation, because where does Schroeder go in the rotation? The Pistons we already don't know what it's going to be right now. We were speculating earlier that they might not shrink it all that much at all. But now I'm starting to think that Simone Fontecchio is going to be out. He only played 4 minutes last night in the game. He's went from 8 minutes, 5 minutes to 4 minutes. He's not playing great.
He is a Nick killer, though, this guy.
Fontecchio,
yeah. So don't sleep on him hitting an annoying three in this series.
It's so funny when like a player does something just like on the low player absolutely devastates you. It blows.
Yeah.
I remember him cooking us on the Jazz, and I was like,
exactly.
Who? Simone. But no, it's weird because he. I mean, granted, last year was just a lost season, but he came in after the deadline and he was starting. So we kind of expected him to have a way bigger role this season, and he's really kind of fallen out of the rotation, which, you know, I trust JB at this point.
It's a good thing and a bad thing. Like the good thing, it's a bad thing because it sucks for him. The good thing is they have players that are outperforming him, like just straight up. Even Ron Holland, their rookie, who there are a lot of questions about, even on this podcast, we had questions about, or at least I did. I'll admit it. He's been a baller. And you want to talk about like energy and playing hard and like being physical. That's that kid. So like maybe he fits more in with how this rotation's going to be for Detroit. Do you have any idea or thoughts on what the New York Knicks rotation will be? I doubt your rookies will play, like, because you got Tyler Kolek, right? Who I think is fun.
He's not.
No chance he's
not cracking.
You will maybe catch a glimpse of him on the side of the camera celebrating a shot or giving a high five.
Of his eyes.
Hopefully he'll be there and they won't send him somehow to the Westchester Knicks for the playoffs. No, I like Kolek. I think he's a fine player. But yeah, Tibbs is known for his short rotations. It's part of the deal. I think you will get your starting five because Tibbs he's not the type of coach to change a starting five. He stuck with Elfrid Payton in the 2021 playoffs till game 6, I think, or game 5 before he subbed him out for Derrick Rose. So yeah, we're gonna have our Brunson, Bridges, Hart, and Anunoby. Cat will be our starting five for sure. Mitchell Robinson, hopefully he can push it up to 25 minutes. He's been playing more closer to 19, somewhere between 15, 19, 20 minutes a game as part of his ramp up, and he's also been skipping every other game to maintain his injury recovery timeline. But fortunately with the playoffs, we have gaps between games. So Mitchell Robinson will be a very consistent part of the rotation. I would expect him, if Cat gets in any foul trouble or if any defensive liability situation starts to unfold, Jalen Duren gets really hot, then you're going to go to Mitch. So that should be interesting. Will he play Mitch and Cat together? It's something we've been asking for and we haven't seen much of. And I don't understand why, but I don't think that's going to happen that much. I think that Landry Shamet will be a big part of the bench. He's been shooting the hell out of the ball, and frankly, we just don't have anybody else who can find a spot and catch and shoot as quickly and as efficiently as Landry Shamet. So we need that. We need a lot of Deuce McBride to counter Cade. We need a lot of OG Anunoby on Cade. And is there going to be another player beyond Mitch, Shamet, and Deuce to come off the bench? I would say most likely not. I would say that's your 8. That's your 8. Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Anunoby, Towns, McBride, Robinson, and Shamet. Limited Shamet.
I'm a Deuce fan, by the way. From one, we got a Deuce in Detroit. We got a New York Deuce. No, and I feel like he routinely cooks the Pistons too.
He's a baller.
We want to see him play more. We want to see the thing that Deuce brings to the starting group if he comes in place of Hart is a spacing threat, because he's a very good 3-point shooter and can get a shot off quickly off of a catch. So he's always a threat to get hot from downtown. And he also has a nice pull-up mid-game. Where he gets into trouble is he can't really drive. He got blocked 100 times against the Pistons. He couldn't score at the rim at all. So that's an issue. But yeah, I think I realize I didn't mention campaign in my prediction.
I was going to ask about that because
I think that's not. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Harry.
I was talking over you. It's what I do. 3 boys in the family, we yell. But yeah, I was gonna say I thought campaign had been playing pretty decently for a while, but I don't remember seeing all that much of him against Detroit. Just like a little bit. Where's he stand at the moment?
Well, it's been interesting with Cam because he has provided energy for a team that needs a player like that. His nickname is Turbo, and he comes in and he pushes pace, and he takes a lot of very bold shots, bold long-distance 3-point shots, and when they go in, it's massive for the team. So you take the risk, but then when they miss, it's a fast break going the other direction. So just because of how far out he takes them from the force that it comes off of the rim, that'll get you going the other way quickly. So I think he rolled his ankle while Brunson was out. And DeLon Wright stepped in as the starter for him and honestly was pretty damn good for a guy whose career had been given up on by 29 other teams. DeLon Wright was fantastic. So defensively, and he shot the ball really well, which was unexpected. And then Cam came back, and he hasn't really had a signature impact on a game. He hasn't really had that fun electricity campaign spark moment. It's been more struggling to create shots and shooting a low percentage from 3, not great at creating shots for others. So I think ultimately Tibbs might look to take him out of the rotation, but he's been great. That's not me saying that he hasn't absolutely delivered for this team and been an important part of the team emotionally. Just vibes. He's cool. Like, he's fun. He gives the bench a lot of energy. So that counts for a lot. But I think that unfortunately, given how limited the rotation is going to have to be and how Deuce is really the superior backup guard of that entire group, I think you're looking at 8. I like Wright, though. I would love to see Wright as a curveball at some point in this series if it needs to happen.
I like Wright too. I like bigger
former Pistons legend.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's
former everybody.
I could go on any sports podcast with any NBA team, and they'd be like, blank legend, Bucks legend, whatever.
Yeah.
That's why we love DeLon Wright.
DeLon Wright and Ish Smith competing for most teams of all time.
Ish Smith, Clyde Frazier is strangely one of his favorite players of all time.
A word? I didn't know that. I mean, I don't know all that much about it.
It's like a running joke.
Okay. Very sure. All right. I do want to remind, because we do this podcast and it's free. I want to remind all y'all that if you can, did I click the right one? I did not, sure enough, but whatever. We'll get into it. I want you guys to like, subscribe.
You know what to do.
I do know what to do. We're here for it. Like us, subscribe, hit the alert, give us the follow. It's free. It's easy. We're on YouTube. You want to know when we're on here? We got the subscriber goal on there right now. We've said it a million times. We're trying to get as many subscribers as Malik Beasley has 3-pointers by the end of the season. A little bit tough.
It's ambitious, Doug. I don't know if we're going to get there, but we're shooting for it.
We'll shimmy if we do.
Just like Malik. Yeah, we'll shoot. We'll shimmy.
I'm surprised you have more subscribers than the number of threes he had in that game against us back in like February.
Bro, he had 7 last night. The dude is insane.
Yeah.
Like, the Malik Beasley signing has been friggin' crazy. And it was an afterthought when it happened because it was just like, who else is available in free agency? I guess I don't even care who we get. And they threw like a $6 million contract to Beasley, and it's been the perfect fit, like the absolute perfect fit for this team. Just such a great, we call him a 3 and V player, threes and vibes, just mad vibes coming out of the man.
That's pure jealousy emanating from me. That's really because he's exactly what the Knicks need in terms of bench scoring.
It would have been great too for the Knicks because I feel like the Knicks have distributors who can get him the ball. I kind of feel like that was where things were not working for him. And granted, Giannis is a lot better at that this year as far as like distributing the ball. But last year when he was with Milwaukee, it was like, all right, you just sit there in the corner, nothing's getting drawn up for you. In Detroit, it's all getting drawn up for him. All the plays, all the actions to get him off ball, to get him to catch and shoot, even in the fast break, like to get him the ball that way. And now because teams are all on top of it, his ability to take it inside, shoot a floater, get his own rebound, score that way. He's been I think he's got more dunks this year than any year except for his rookie season. It's just been this resurgence for him, and it's fun to see. I think a very underrated thing about the Pistons is this sort of belief that that this organization has in these players who are throwaways, and that the fan base has in these players. Like the belief in Tobias Harris to come back when Philly hated him, and he's better than Paul George by a million times this year. Which
definitely has been,
which is great. Tim Hardaway Jr., who essentially got thrown out of Dallas for like disappearing in the playoffs, has been phenomenal for Detroit. Malik Beasley, like we brought up, just a journeyman, and now he's here doing his thing. Dennis Schroeder, after going to Golden State, where people
fit in like a glove.
People are happy to be here. Having a leader like Cade Cunningham believe in you is something, and you know something about that when you have a leader like Jalen Brunson believe in you and like have this sort of camaraderie that the Knicks have, because the Knicks have so much fun together, and it's very fun to see. It's nice to have personality on top of talent, and so for that, not only do I applaud the Knicks, but I really respect the team. I think they're a really fun team to watch, and I really have enjoyed watching them play all these last 2 years, except for in the game that Dante DiVincenzo tackled Desar Thompson. But other than that,
I was there.
Were you really?
Yeah. I said not a foul. Oh, okay. Cool.
You heard it here first from the horse's mouth. Pretty fascinating stuff. Do you have a favorite game from the year? And after you tell us your favorite game, I want to get into the music, if that's all right.
Favorite game from this year. I'm just trying to think for a second. There was a game where we beat Toronto. I know that sounds like, that's the thing, is we don't have a signature win against a really great team, and that's really frustrating. I have to go to a Toronto win. Mm-hmm. But the point of that, it was a close game, and then Cat hit a really definitive dagger to win that game, and that was just a testament to the player that Cat is. But to be honest with you, there hasn't been the one win. I mean, we beat Denver and we beat Memphis in a couple of really great. Well, the Denver games, we just washed them. Memphis, I would say Memphis was Mitchell Robinson's first game back, and OG Anunoby hit a game-winning 3, essentially. Well, he hit the 3 that put them up, and then they got to stop, and then won the game. So, yeah, we'll go with that Memphis game. You can't say Toronto with the straight. As soon as I said it, I was like, ugh.
We love Toronto on this podcast. To be fair, like I think the Raptors are an interesting team, and
they are an interesting team.
It's a cool city. They have some good talent. Even like when their scrubs were playing against us, I was like, man, like Jacoby Walter kind of balled out. AJ Lawson, who just signed a 2-year deal with them, was
Jamal Sheed.
Jamal Sheed, killer.
Like, thank you.
Fun stuff on that team. The Pistons had an iconic game against them. Jaden Ivey had this buzzer beater, jump shot falling into the stands. It was awesome, like awesome moments. So yeah, no love lost against Toronto.
Yeah, any game can have a certain vibe. But I really think that what you're saying about the Knicks, I don't think they've had that moment this year that the team last year had in terms of their camaraderie. I think they like each other. I think their vibe is good and everybody's friends and everybody has a good time and the morale is generally up. But I think on the court they haven't had the moment that defines who they are as a group. And I think that's been tough for fans. I love the team. I think it's a good group of guys. And character-wise, it's a team that I'm proud of. But it's tough that they haven't had that for each other. I feel bad almost for them that they haven't had that moment for each other where it's really worked out. I mean, there's been some tough luck, some tough losses, some rough calls. And it's on them at the end of the day to pull it together because you were in the playoffs. Now the scrutiny is on you. The pressure's on you. Prove everybody wrong what they say that you can't perform in big high leverage situations, that people doubting that we can beat the Pistons. Tough team, but come on, you can beat the Pistons, and we figure out the rest from there. So this is the moment where they can have that as a group, where they come together in a real high pressure situation and make an impression. I think it's possible. I'm worried. Worried.
The Magic,
but I think it's possible.
Yeah, the Magic seems to be with one team in this series. Hopefully, it sticks that way for us. But if it happens for you, you're a great guy, and like that'd be cool. So like,
you guys seem cool too. So all love. No, I really had fun talking. I'm serious. I really have enjoyed being on this show with you guys. You guys are on point, and you know your Pistons and you know your hoops. So no, we can talk a little shit. We'll have to.
Got to.
But it's you have to commend an NBA team doing
solid.
Yeah,
and you're good too. See, I've just
everybody's cool.
Yeah. I've just been watching like the latency on the stream, and like every once in a while people are like dipping in and out, and I'm like, this is crazy. Because usually the internet's very good here. I pay top dollar.
You got top dollar. I don't. Yeah, so if I'm responsible for it, I'm sorry.
it's not on you. It's on me. Because I do like video editing, like editing TV shows and movies and stuff. I have to have high speed internet so I can like stream back and forth with
cool.
People.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so dope. Such a dope industry to be involved in right now.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
So you're a robot. That's what you're telling me.
Oh yeah. I spell Harry with HAIRRY. It works out great. But like, okay, so let's shift to the music because we showed the clip earlier. You've been playing music. You're a professional musician. You're in so many bands. You play with celebrities, which is so cool. On top of it, I want to talk about like some of these songs. Some of the ones that stood out to me when I was going through it. Your music magazine or catalog is so in Mickey and I's wheelhouse of like where we're at, maybe both age-wise and just like taste-wise, but we have a 93 Till Infinity mashup in there or parody in there. That's great. A Limp Bizkit break stuff. That's the one that I alluded to where you fit in Mamou Lashvili, which
I said I have to get his name in here. If he's going to drop 34 points on us when he averages like 3 a game, I'm going to have to say his full name in this song.
Bro, he fit it in 19 minutes. You fit it in 45 seconds.
19 minutes, 34 points. That's insane.
Absolutely
unreal.
Friggin' wild. A couple of my other favorites. This one's like somewhat recent. Their Last Resort parody was pretty great.
So good.
Thanks.
You had a Cher, I believe, Life After Love.
Range. Serious range.
Semisonic's Closing Time made to be Closeout Guys, which was incredible. Like just truly sensational stuff.
You know about the problems we have with closing out.
A little bit.
Know well about it.
Yep. That's good that bodes well for Detroit, to be truly honest. And then what was the last one I have on here? Give me all your love and ZZ Top. I'm a ZZ Top sucker. Really into
just iconic riffs too.
That
riffs.
one was like slightly too esoteric for my main audience, but I was like, the beard's gonna carry it. Let's do it.
That's what I'm going to ask about. Like, what is your budget for costumes and cosmetics? Because they're wild. If you're not watching the videos, that is a closet full, my friend.
Commitment.
I gotta have a lot of different outfits for my gigs and different types of clothes in different situations. I'll play an outside gig, I'll wear a flower shirt, I'll play a wedding, I'll wear a suit, so I gotta have a lot of different types of stuff. Plus my wife has a lot of cool style, so I just take stuff from her and my kids. I'll take like a pair of my daughter's sunglasses that fit funny on my face or something like that, and I'll wear it in the video. But yeah, I just have so much fun with it. And every song I do, I try to go to the record and really capture the essence of it the best I can. That's my real challenge production wise. And today I'll just spoil the song I'm doing today because who cares?
We got the scoop.
Breaking news, baby.
I'll spoil it for you guys. I'm doing Viva La Vida by Coldplay. and and what was fun about that is if you actually listen to that song, it's about 80% strings and violins, cellos, violas. There's all this crazy string stuff happening, and then there's just like a kick drum, boom, boom, and a bass. So I was like, let's take this on. I want something that's life. We kind of suck right now. Let's get it together. Let's move on with it's just the way it goes kind of vibe. And I was like, I'm going to make these strings sound like this record the best that I can. And I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning and I did it. So because last night after that game, I had nothing. So that's why I texted you guys like, I might be a little bit late or something. I don't know. I just finally had the idea. But yeah, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And every type of music that I can dig into and try to capture the essence of is exciting for me. I'm exhausted. I can't lie to you guys. But it's special. It's just a thing it's just one of those things that it's got to get done. You got to do it. You got to, it's for yourself. It's for the world. It's for the fans. And that's what I'm doing.
So cool, man. I love the commitment. And you off air, you were very graciously talking about how, meeting other fans and talking hoops has been one of the best parts of this. But you've also met Spike Lee. Did I catch you? Were you shooting middies at MSG?
Yeah, I get
so cool. What's been some of the highlights of this whole thing?
Well, meeting Spike Lee was just unbelievable. He invited me over to his office, which is here in Brooklyn, and it's just an incredible treasure trove of memorabilia that he's collected, and he's just a brilliant man and somebody that's meant a lot to me. One of my heroes really in my life creatively. His films have really made a difference in my life, and they represent New York, which is something I represent. I am very proud of my New York heritage and my upbringing here. And I represent that in these videos. And I think that resonates with people. So meeting Spike, New York City icon, world, film icon, unbelievable. Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson watched a clip of it on their podcast on the Roommates show, and they had fun with it. They had a laugh about it, and that's all it's about. I would never want one of my songs to feel like I'm being mean to a player, getting on him about something. It's about vibes and appreciating the entertainment and appreciating the story of every game. Allen Houston sent me a hoodie. That was really cool.
That's sick.
Allen freaking Houston, you guys know.
It's so wild. I was gonna tell you this off air, but like I loved Allen Houston on the Knicks and not on the Pistons. I was like when I was a baller back in the day, that's who I wanted to shoot like before Ray Allen was like on the scene. I was like, I get a shot like that.
So you referred to a video where I got everybody's also in the fan base incredibly generous. Have multiple fans and friends have brought me to games since I've started doing this as a way to be like, we appreciate it. We know you're the Knicks guy. Come and enjoy the games with us. And so I was invited to an event with my friends at Knicks Omni Fans, like a fan group. They do group outings. I was invited to that event, and they let us on the court. And that was the highest pressure shot I've ever taken in my life.
Did you make it?
And I made it.
Hey.
Was it a three or a midi? I can't remember.
It was a free throw. So, I'm not saying my range is infinite, but I am saying that under pressure, I got that ball in rhythm, bounced it like I do in my routine, smooth and easy, no problem. So I was very glad about that. Very good. And no matter what anybody says funny on the internet, I had one attempt.
I get it.
One take wonder.
My buddy
That's
filmed me
right.
at LTA recently, and I shot it, and this person who was behind me goes, "Oh, that's good," and then it hit the front of the rim and fell straight down. It was like such an embarrassing bad shot, but I get it. It's rough. Was shooting like your thing? Were you a shooter back in your pre-cut from high school days?
Well, I actually play all the time now.
Oh, killer!
I play all the time now, and I think my passing is pretty good. My back to the basket situation, I can create some advantages for myself that way. And I think I'm good at setting screens and getting rebounds.
Sick.
I'm not a good shooter. I can get hot, but I'm not a good shooter. You don't want me taking the majority of the shots. You really
That free
don't.
throw was extra big then. That's huge.
Exactly. And I was like, okay, we still got the form. I think I have a good form, but I think I'm not so good at getting myself on balance when I'm shooting. That's what I need to work on in a live action of a game, getting on balance when I'm shooting off of some kind of movement or dribbling or something.
As a man approaching your 40s, let me give you firsthand tips. Think about your feet. Like figure out getting your feet on base, all four quarters of them. Get set up because
you hoop too, Harry.
I did. I haven't in a while because I moved to Michigan and like my community's a little bit smaller, and also I've had knee trouble for a little bit. But if you're a follower of the podcast, you know this. I thought I was going pro back in the day. I tried out for Michigan State's basketball team when I was there. Had a terrible interaction with Tom Izzo.
Did you really?
I did.
Wow.
During a scrimmage, I got hit from behind, and I was sliding on my face with my body in the air, and I could see him laughing at me while I was sliding. So I was like, "Fuck this team, bro." But shout out Maurice Fager. He's a great guy, former Michigan State Spartan, wonderful player, still killer. He's not the one who pushed me. He's just a great dude. In general, he's a music man as well. He made beats. He used to produce beats that some of which I would use back in my previous rap career.
Hey, let's go. You got to send me that.
No, I'm old enough to be like listening to my lyrics and be like, what the fuck was wrong with me? You know, I'm not the talented musician you are. The music quality of the videos is unreal. Like it's
incredible,
fucking good, especially for the turnaround. And then you mentioned storytelling earlier. The storytelling within your short, like lyric accumulations to fit into like. Again, the Papa Roach one was like isolations from Tatum and something about rotations. Like it's fucking good. It's so insane how so on point. But that's what you say. You're like, it's stupid, but that's how you know it's great. So much great stuff is stuff that you're like, oh my God, this is like so obvious and so dumb to me. And everyone else is like, it connects with me and it's so in my face and so apparent. The stuff is sensational. If you're not following Doug Lust, check it out. We're Pistons fans, and we're saying that's incredible stuff. This is a competitor with us.
Instantly loved it. Yeah, it's super infectious, and you can just tell so much care goes into every single one of them. Man, they're a blast.
Thank you so much.
When you're writing the lyrics, I believe in your story you said something about like you have to get it down for one take because you have to memorize these lyrics all in one. Do you find that what makes it easier about memorizing the lyrics is writing the lyrics down by hand, or do you have like a mnemonic trick for it, or is it because they're somewhat in line with the actual lyrics of the song, or is it because you just have the story of the game memorized so it's easy enough to like follow in with you? What is a trick for you for that whole element?
Well, I think that because I do so many takes recording it, I layer my vocals usually, and I do a lot of takes so I feel like it sounds right. It gives me a lot of repetitions at the lyrics. So they're pretty burned into my brain. And just in terms of writing, I think it's really more about, like we've been saying, the word story. It's just what is it for Knicks fans first, and overall for anybody watching the video, what is the real takeaway from the game? How did it play out, and what did it tell you about the team and about the competition, about where the league is stacking up? So that's what and Knicks fans are so passionate, and we have so many references and ideas that we share with each other, and we also argue like crazy with each other about that it's an easy well for me to draw on because I'm so versed in it and I care so much about it. So making these lyrics, it just has become a second nature thing for me. Today, I've taken a slightly different approach because it's not a game that means anything in terms of what happened on the court, but it still was a bad Knicks loss to Cleveland. So I basically use the lyrics today to implore the team to take some time and think about how to get it together. That's really what today's song is about. So every song is different, and it just comes from the heart.
You strike such a nice balance too between, there's so much negativity in sports fandom, and then there's also just on the other side, like relentless homerdom, and you're right in the middle. Like hey, listen,
Sorry.
we are what we are, but I'm not pointing any finger. But
what did it mean? I accept fully.
No, you're clearly not just a Knicks fan, you're a Hoops fan, and it really comes across. And it's not easy to be objective about your team, and I think you do such a great job.
Thank you, Mickey. Yeah, it's important. It's important not to go down the holes in either direction. It's if you think that your team is flawless, then you'll never ask for more, and then you'll always be disappointed in the result. But if at the same time, if you hate everything about your team and you find stuff that you think it doesn't portend well, or is not going to work out, or you think this trade was poor, you think this guy's not the guy, whatever, then it's going to be an unenjoyable experience for you to be a fan. So you might as well take a break. So somewhere in the middle is where the experience, I think, is in its sweet spot. And this music has helped me find that sweet spot, because like I said, I can't run players down, talk crap about players. I'll talk smack to other teams. And when there's a bad play, it's something that I'll highlight, because sometimes bad plays are funny.
Hilarious.
Oftentimes they're funny. So it's just part of the game. But yeah, I think, that's it. That's where I come from with these tunes, and that's where I come from as a fan. I used to be a toxic fan, straight up. I used to think that the Knicks were making all kinds of mistakes, and it wasn't fun for me. So now we're in the place that we're in. I'm ever optimistic, but I'm also ever skeptical, and I'm ever PTSD'd from some big missed shots over the years, and that's kind of my story. And I think a lot of Knicks fans, in somewhere in there, feel where I'm coming from.
Oh yeah, there's no way they can't relate. I mean, again, like just in the music catalog alone, there's already this sort of collection of like, oh, this resonates with me. I'm familiar with this, and then you're sharing basketball on top of it, so it's like dual shared experience, and it's such a collaboration of not only taste but emotion that goes into it, because all those songs bring you back to a moment from your child or from your past. They're all clearly 10, 20, 30-year-old songs, some 40-year-old, some 50. I don't know how old.
That's my sweet spot. That's
right?
what I know.
I mean, us too.
100%. Like, seriously, that's my former Spotify playlist. There's a lot of those fucking tracks on there. So like, just pairing that along with the emotions of this game, I can see how people can connect, and you're doing it, like you said, in a no longer toxic way or not toxic way. I think that's like such an important thing about sports fandom, is like, learn to appreciate the game, learn to just accept it for what it is, because while the entertainment aspect and like the storylines and the moments are so big, really do affect you, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to like lose your mind over it. You can be upset about it, you can be heartbroken over it, but like, there's so many other emotions that you can pull from it. There's so many other things you can tie into it, and just sit in the feelings of the game and let that go through. I think you're doing a great job of storytelling.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and thanks for. I do have to jump because I do have to finish this song today. I'm procrastinating because I'm enjoying so much talking with you guys.
We'll have you back on, man.
Please.
It's been great. Again, if you haven't seen Doug, go follow him at Doug Lust, all the socials, TikTok, Instagram, X, Blue Sky. Get bigger on Blue Sky, bro. Like, that's it's where I want basketball stuff to be going.
Can I tell you something about Blue Sky before we jump off?
Sure.
Please.
There was this period where I was posting every game on Blue Sky, and then for some reason, they just started doing the text and not letting me post the video, and I didn't notice. I was like, and that was when I said, Blue Sky, man, please get your interface a little bit together. I would love to post here, but anyway.
They're working on it. The videos
they're working on it.
The videos are doing a little bit better now. I know.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I'll check back in over there.
I've had this issue on Blue Sky, and this might be an issue everyone has on Blue Sky, but like, you have to wait for the video to upload fully and then process, because if you don't,
that was the issue.
Me too. I had the same thing going on. Not that we're doing numbers like you, nor should we have been doing numbers like you, but like, incredible stuff. So again, please follow Doug. Please follow us as well. Give us the like, subscribe, all that stuff. Again, we're trying to get Malik Beasley numbers, on there. We do a lot of stuff. And y'all, the playoffs are here. We just painted the matchup. It's going to be good. It's going to be a tight series. I can't wait to see it. We have a game tomorrow against the Bucks, but whatever. Fuck the Bucks at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the Bucks. Fuck the Pacers. To blow yourselves out for all I care. Doug, we end this podcast the same way all the time, every time. And it's because the Order of the Blazing Horse, the acronym, sounds a lot like how a horse would talk if a horse could talk, or when a horse make noises. So from me, I'm Harry. Always joined.
And I'm Mickey.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Stepped all over you.
I stepped over you, my friend. And we were so lucky enough to have Doug on the show tonight. So
Thank you so
always,
much.
have a good one, y'all.